Welcome to the 10th video in Internet Marketing in an Hour a Day, and this one we're going to talk about promoting yourself, and that doesn't mean giving yourself a rise or anything like that. It means actually going out there, and your top priority is obviously getting content on your own site, but the very next highest is getting content elsewhere, because that's what gives Google the links and that's what helps promote your site. So for this part of the exercise, for the promotion part, you're going to need to use what I loosely termed support sites, and could be videos on YouTube, could be articles on Easy Articles, not put it on the list, could be the document sharing sites like DocShare and so on, could be a Facebook page or just Facebook posts, Twitter posts, forum posting, guest posting, anything and everything that gets links back to your site. And you'll need to do some kind of content for this or pay someone to do it. But you need to do it because Google finds this out and it works out how well or not you're doing, and it takes a look at those different things. Let me just show you something on one of my sites. And because Google doesn't show you what they've indexed, you use a couple of separate indexing sites. One I've used is Ahrefs, ahrefs.com. I put in Instant Law of Attraction Success, which is my Law of Attraction product. 86 pages crawling, pointing to it, 88 backlinks, spread over 21 IP addresses, 28 different domains. And because I've done some more promotion on it recently, that's just shot up there, as you can see, from around about 20 odd backlinks to rather more. It's found various things. And Google will find those over time as well. Majestic SEO is the other one, that Majestic Site Explorer is the other one, and again they've found a different number of domains. They found 18 referring domains rather than 28, 14 IPs rather than 21, and so on. But they'll give an importance. That's just a weird error they've come up with. Don't worry about that one, because it did crawl it. And you can use those. Don't spend lots and lots of time on it, but what that means is that they get importance, and what these services try and do as well is work out a sort of equivalent to Google PageRank. You can see here on Majestic we got a citation flow and a trust flow, and weighted by the number of blah. But basically, the higher the number, the better. Ahrefs does a similar one. It gives their domain rank. It's given me that's a score of 30 out of 100. Quite good for quite a new domain. So you can get an idea. Again, don't sweat about these. It's just, what it means is that the more you do on places like YouTube, Easy Articles and so on, the higher generally of trust you'll get and the higher your rank will come up gradually. It takes time for Google to crawl all those. You saw the difference between Majestic and Ahrefs, where you got 28 domains and 18 domains. That's just the difference in crawling times. Google's figure will be different again, and if I checked it again tomorrow, it'll be different again. So don't panic about that. What you do need to do, though, is over time keep track of what works and also what you enjoy doing. I know if something doesn't work fantastically, but it does work, but you enjoy doing it, you're more likely to continue doing it. So it's better to do that than do something that works slightly better, but you find a pain in the neck to do. So do more of the things that work, but if it's a fine line between one that works quite well and another one that works quite well, but you enjoy doing one but not the other, do more of the ones you enjoy, because you'll do more and you'll have the enthusiasm to do it, and it will come through in what you do, and that will actually get you more traffic, more people buying and so on anyway. So don't be afraid to promote yourself. No one else is going to promote you. You'd love them to, but they probably won't. Shame, but it just doesn't happen that way anymore. It might have happened really early on in the web because there were so few sites, but there's millions upon millions now, and you're just, sorry to tell you this, you're just one in a crowd. So you need to promote yourself to step above the crowd, and you don't have to do much. So go for it. Put some promotion on your list once you've got content on your site first. Welcome to the 11th video in Internet Marketing in an Hour a Day, and the subject of this one is monitoring occasionally, and I do mean occasionally. I don't mean going in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, pressing refresh seeing that you've had one more visitor or one more click through to a page but no sale, or whatever it happens to be. And the urge is, especially when it's new, to constantly check stats. We all do it from time to time, but it's not a good use of your time. It really isn't. So the time that you spend, it's a bit like checking friends on Facebook and all the other things. It's an excuse to pretend you're working that you're not. One of the services I use actually is a free service called StatCounter, and they'll actually email you the stats weekly free of charge. They also do some quite neat things. This is again the Instant Law of Attraction site, not getting huge amounts of visitors as you can see. This is just the stats for the main page, and they'll give you various bits of stats, popular pages. I've only monitoring one, so there'll only be one. Daily views, if you don't pay them, they'll only keep a certain amount of logs. Recent came froms and a few other things. So you can do that, and they'll email you a sort of a selection of those once a week, and that's good enough to do. All part of the service, all free, and very unobtrusive. You wouldn't know that they're tracking, and they're not publicly available stats unless you just decide to make them. So quite useful, and I'm sure you can integrate it into WordPress blog and stuff like that if you want to, or WordPress, just use a stats plugin. So either of those will work. The beauty of the email side is obviously that you're not having to log in constantly to check it. You just get the email and think, okay. What you actually find when you do that is you tend to ignore it. I get a few email stats things, and I look at them once in a while, but not very often, and it works fine. You can also check your affiliate stats. You go into ClickBank, you get the reporting side of things. Amazon will do the same. They'll tell you what's selling, what you're getting clicks on. But don't get obsessive about this. It's not worth it. That's why I say monitor occasionally. Once a week's fine. Once a day if you really have to. But if you do that, set yourself a time limit. Say, right, it's going to be the last 2 minutes once I've done everything else I need to do, rather than the first 2, because that'll turn into 10. And you know that's true, because again, we all do it. And it's just, the thing with checking stats is it's historic data. It's time that could be much, much better spent creating more content for your site. And if you create more content, you'll get more sales. And then the money's coming in, and you actually don't check your stats as often once the money comes in, because you're thinking, okay, that's nice. You'll check the dollar amount instead, and okay, you just got that through into your bank account or your PayPal account or whatever, and that's a nice feeling. A lot nicer than just looking at raw figures saying, well, whatever it was on there, 20 people coming in on that day, 24 there, whatever. Just a lot easier. So don't obsess about stats, just monitor every now and then just to check everything's working as much as anything else, and do go into your site occasionally and do it from a separate browser, not one you normally use. One that you clear the cookies on every single time, so you're not looking at an old page. And just check your site's still there and working as well. That's the other thing on the monitoring side, because things break on the internet and you don't get told. There are monitoring services out there, most of them work reasonably well, but the easiest way I find is just go in. It works. You don't have to do it very often, it's just there. Monitor that the site's there, click a few links, just check they're still working, just check nothing's broken, because what happens with the internet is like Windows upgrades all your programs regularly, so do Apples and Androids and iPhones and all sorts of things, and sometimes bugs creep in, and if you don't check, you don't know, and if you don't know, then you're losing sales. So check occasionally, but again, don't obsess about it. Much better things to do with your time than monitoring all the time. And when you get to that stage, set a few things in motion. You can get programs that do a lot of the checking for you, and that'll work as well. So we'll see you in the next video.